my name is Christy Simpson with ChristySimpson.net, and in this crochet video tutorial I will be teaching you how to crochet a flower 3 ways. We will use the same techniques through each pattern, the same yarn and the same hook, but we will end up with 3 different flowers. So grab your Caron Simply Soft and your 5.0 crochet hook and let's get started. For these 3 flowers, I used Caron Simply Soft in Pistachio, Strawberry, and Orchid, and it is using some of the same techniques to create 3 different flowers. So it's flowers 3 different ways. I have used an H 5.0 millimeter crochet hook, and this is a medium weight yarn. So if you use a larger hook, your flower will naturally be larger because your gauge will be looser naturally. And if you use a smaller hook, say a 3.75, your flower will be naturally smaller because you're going to have the stitches a little bit tighter. But we're going to work with the medium one, and we're going to start with this flower first. So we'll move that off to the side, and I already have a slip knot started here. And to begin, we will chain 4 and slip stitch to the first chain. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and in this first chain, not the first chain from the hook, but the very first one, slip stitch. Okay, now you have a little ring right there. Now chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this chain 4, the first chain 3 counts as a double crochet, and the 4th chain counts as a chain 1. So you have a first double crochet and chain 1 here. Now we will double crochet and chain 1, and then repeat that double crochet chain 1 8 times. So let's do that. So 1 chain, and we're just working in that middle ring. 2 chain, 3 chain, 4 chain, 5 chain, 6 chain, 7 chain, and this makes 8 and chain. Now remember that first chain 4, and we said the first chain 3 was your double crochet. So you will not work in the chain 4, the last chain, but find the 3rd chain and we will slip stitch to it. Okay? And then you should have 10 double crochets and 10 chain 1 spaces. I'm going to go ahead and cut this because we will be moving on to the next color and pull all the way through. But let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chain spaces. Alright, I've got that pulled pretty tight, and I'm going to pull it to the back just to get it out of the way. And you can go ahead and weave in your ends as you go, or wait to the end. And our next color is the strawberry. So take and join the strawberry in any chain space, and we will get started on this first little cluster. So any chain space, pull your slip knot through like that, and chain 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, okay? And then pull through the next 2 loops. Now chain 2. Now to complete the next cluster, and it will be repeated in each stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, yarn over and pull back through, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Leave these 2 on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain space, yarn over and pull back through. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And there is your next cluster. So chain 2. yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain space, yarn over and bring it back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, push through, yarn over, pull back through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now let's go ahead and complete these clusters. Chain 2, yarn over, complete your cluster here, and basically it's like a double crochet to decrease, double crochet, decrease in the same chain space, if you want to think about it that way. It's really simple process. Okay, and so far that's what we have. Chain 2, and then we have 2 more. 1, 2, and then 1 more, and then we will just slip stitch to that first cluster after we chain 2. That first cluster is not the chain 2 stitch here, it's actually the stitch on top. Okay, so cut that yarn, pull it all the way through, and then just pull it through one of those side stitches to kind of pull it back to the back. Okay, so that is our round 2. Now for round 3, it's really simple. You're going to join the orchid. I start with a slip knot in any of the chain spaces, any of these spaces around. So just picking one here. Okay, so pull it back through, and I'm going to chain 1, 3 double crochet in the same chain space. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and slip stitch. Okay, there's my first petal out of 10. Now in each chain space, this is what you will do to complete. Slip stitch to the next one, chain 1, 3 double crochet, so 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and slip stitch. Next one is slip stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and slip stitch. I will show you one more time, and then you can complete the round and then join me back here to see how to finish. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then slip stitch. Now complete that sequence, slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet, 3, chain 1, slip stitch in each chain space, and then when you finish your last one, join me back here to finish. I have completed this last petal, and if you look at it, if I finished it off right here, you would have an open gap, and that would just look funny compared to all the rest where it's basically seamless. So when you finish that last slip stitch to the next or the first chain space, and then slip stitch to the first little chain 1 there. Actually, it's the double crochet. Just slip stitch to it, cut your yarn, and then pull it all the way through and pull it tight. And then whenever you finish, just pull all of your yarn ends to the back and weave in your ends, and then you will be finished with this large, beautiful flower. On this medium flower, I used the orchid and the strawberry. We will start from the center with a chain 2 and 5 single crochet, and then we will create these petals, and we'll have a chain round and then we will create the outside with a little bit of a point. So let's get started, and it starts with the orchid, and I already have my slip knot. So like I said, we will chain 2, 1, 2, and in the first chain, single crochet 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch to the first one to join the round. Okay, chain 2. We're just moving right into round 2. 2 trebles, chain 2, and slip stitch to the same stitch. That's what this one is going to be. So a treble is yarn over 2 times, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull back through. So there's 1. There's 2. Now we will chain 2 and slip stitch to the same stitch. Okay? Now slip stitch to the next stitch, and this is what we will do in each stitch around. Chain 2, 2 treble. So this is the first one. I'll pull it on through, yarn over 2 times, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 2, and slip stitch to the same stitch. Slip stitch to the next, chain 2, yarn over 2 times so we can complete 2 trebles. Get some more yarn here out of the way. Chain 2 and slip stitch. Slip stitch, chain 2, 2 trebles, and this is the second one. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 2, and slip stitch in the same stitch. Okay, one more petal. So slip stitch, chain 2, treble 2, chain 2, and slip stitch. And now what we will do is just cut this yarn, pull it all the way through, and we will just leave that there for now. Now that you have finished round 2, look at your petals and you'll see your chain 2, your 2 trebles, and the other chain 2. Find the space in between the 2 trebles right here in each one, and that's where we will be putting our stitches for this round 3. So take your strawberry, and I already have my slip knot ready, and just pull through. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the next space in between the 2 trebles, there's no stitch, but just in that space, slip stitch. Okay, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch in between the 2 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, slip stitch in between the 2 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again slip stitch in between the 2 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is where we started, but just slip stitch here to finish this round. Now for round 4, we will complete this in each chain space in between the petals. So slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, 2 double crochets. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and do it again. Chain 2, so 1, 2. Now work reverse on the way to the other side. 2 double crochets, single crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch. In the next space, slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and that chain 2 is what creates this little point here. And if you look, it's not just rounded, it does have a little bit of a point. 2 double crochets, single crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch. Let's go ahead and finish this. 2 double crochets are next, chain 2, two double crochets, single crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch. Now we have 2 more spaces to go. See, these are the ones left here. So slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch, slip stitch, chain 1, single crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, single crochet, chain 1, slip stitch, and then to finish, to slip stitch to that first chain, cut your yarn, pull your yarn all the way through and tighten. And now let's look at what we have, because we have now finished our flower. You have the 5 petals here on the purple, and then you have the 5 outer petals in the pink on the chains. So now you have completed your medium flower. For this third and smallest flower, we use strawberry and the orchid. And this is a super fast and easy flower, so let's get started. I have a slip knot ready to go, and we will chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slip stitch to the first chain to create a ring. And then you will chain 4, which will be your first double crochet in your chain 1. And then double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and we will do that. Okay, we've done it 3 times, so 4, 5, a total of 6 times. Double crochet, chain 1, that's 4 double crochets, double crochet, chain 1, and then 1 more time. Now slip stitch to the 3rd chain of that first chain 4. You don't want to slip stitch to the 4th one because that counts as your chain 1 space. So slip stitch, then cut your yarn, pull it all the way through and tighten. You can insert your hook into that last chain and pull it through to the back to get it out of the way. I'm going to trim those a little shorter just so they're not in my way. Then take the purple the orchid and put it in any chain 1 space. So pull through. And chain 1. And then we will have, let's look here. We have the chain 1 and 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, chain 1, and slip stitch. Now in each chain 1 space around, slip stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch. Slip stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch. Next chain space, slip stitch, chain 1, two double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch. That gives us 4 petals. Slip stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch, and then on our last one, slip stitch, chain 1, double crochet 1, 2, chain 1, and then slip stitch to the next chain 1 space, and then to that first double crochet, slip stitch to it, fasten off your yarn, pull all the way through, and then pull to the back, and then you have completed your third and smallest flower.